So that's red for power against white. And the other thing I kept hearing from people was, I love Sedona. I love going there. I love the people. I love the restaurants. I love the trails. So it just made sense to make it ilovesedonarealestate.com. So it's now a name brand. Next slide. So then you go to your strategy. What is your strategy? Are you going to do print? Are you a social media mongrel? Do you do podcasts? Do you do TV? Do you do open houses? Think of your strategy. It can be any of those strategies. And in this example I'm giving you is a print. So we did farm. We wanted to farm a number of homes. And I'll go to my tip next. Then I'm going to figure out how many times a year I'm going to send out that print piece. I'm going to work on my content, of course, which is all about what is their home worth. It's not about me. It's what is best for the client. And then finally, I got to get a budget. So I got to look at the cost. And my tip is, if you start anywhere, you have to mail more than 750 mailers. You got to make sure that the area that you're going to farm has good turnover, meaning that there are houses being sold, and that your competition, there's not one competitor in that market that has more than 10% market share. And this is a piece that we've mailed out. I change out this front every time so it resonates with those homes. They know Uptown Sedona, which is just north of the Y if you've been up Sedona 89A. So this is always changing, and this piece goes out, and we're mailing close to 1,200 people in Uptown Sedona right now. Next slide. My next theory on branding and how to build your brand, always be branding. I have my shirt on today. I'll be out doing an open house later. Everything I wear and everything I do is all about branding. You'll notice here we have our masks and our face shields have our brand. Everybody has their visor, their name tag. The back of our cars all have ilovesedonarealestate.com and eXp Realty. Every piece we do will have that similar flair. Next slide. And then of course, back of Homes and Land, if we sponsor an event, and I always love to do this, I love studying how people market, because if you're looking at something fast, or you're going to take out a billboard, or you're going to do anything, I want you to look at what you're looking at. If you look at this sign, what jumps out? ilovesedonarealestate.com. Think of it in simplicity. There's too many words. People use too much in their PowerPoint presentations. Make it simple, make it catchy, and you can see I've subliminally branded you the whole time, because here we go. On the lower right-hand side of the screen, ilovesedonarealestate.com. And when you think of real estate in Sedona, all I want you to think about is ilovesedonarealestate.com. Next slide. There you go. That's how you brand. Go from 0 to 1 in 4.5 years.
That is awesome, Chris. Thank you so much. I'm sure we'll have some questions at the end. I had a couple myself. Next, we'd like to hear from Lisa Westcott. I hope I pronounced that right, Lisa.
Westcott.
Westcott. Sorry.
Yeah, Prescott is spelled almost the same way, but pronounced Prescott. Westcott is pronounced Westcott, but you're close.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for having me. It's been a while since I've seen some of these faces, so it's awesome to be here. Thank you. One of the things that I'm realizing, and we all know this, but what I love about this group is we're all different. We have different approaches, but we have the one thing in common, and that is we treat our business like a business. Lisa Roberts does something, she has her business model. Chris has her business model. I'm sure Andrea has hers. Mine is basically, I started in the business when I was 22, I think I was 22 or 23, and I worked for the original developer of the Four Seasons, and fell in love with, I knew I wanted to do something with real estate, but I wasn't quite sure what. So I skipped around for a few years, and then in 2002, got back into it and worked for a luxury home builder, and then went independent on my own in 2008. And it really, branding yourself really comes down, in my professional opinion, comes down to your own personal why. Why are you doing what you do? My why is I love people, and I love finding properties that match what the people are looking for. If it takes me 6 months to find something that's perfect for them, or 6 years. It's happened. It's taken, I think I have a career buyer of 8 years. But I'm a relationship person. So all of my business is either it's 95% repeat or referral. We do some marketing, we do some branding. Our number one branding part is what speaks to us, how we do our business, which is commitment, knowledge, and integrity. We're committed to our clients, to listening to them, to finding what they really want, what's deep down inside their needs are. Knowledge of the industry, making sure that we know exactly what we're talking about. And if we don't know, then don't be afraid to say, I'm sorry, I don't know that, but let me find out for you, or let me find some other resources for you. And integrity. Always, always, always do the right thing. It will always come back. Those are the 3 most important things to us as a group. And we're a small team. There's 5 agents. And we love doing what we do.
That's awesome. Thanks, Lisa. That is just great. Do what you say and say what you do, right?
Yep.
That's for sure. And last but not least, we're going to hear from, is it Andrea or Andrea?
Just call me Andy.
Andy, okay. Oh, that makes it easy. Thanks, Andy. Go for it.
Well, I want to thank you for being a part of this great panel. I love what all of the girls have said. And as you'll see, we all do things differently. I am a little bit different as that I practice commercial real estate. And I have to tell you, I'm always taking tricks and secrets from the residential market because they're so cutting edge on how they brand and market themselves. So I'm going to try to breeze through this really quickly, just a little bit about branding, marketing, and how that equates to money in your pocket. Next slide, please. So like Deanna, I love my dogs, so they will be taking a journey on with us. This is Sadie in the upper right-hand corner, and Lucy, they're 5 and 3. Just a tad bit about me. I've got 25 years of transactional knowledge. I've closed over 275 million in deals. I'm a CCIM designation since 2008. That means I'm a certified commercial investment member. And in a prior life, I was a chef, an actor, and a model. And you will see how all of those come to play in my branding and marketing. And I think that that is really key when you're branding yourself and getting out in the world. Next slide, please. So the power of social media and digital marketing just blew me away when I started working with it. In my first year, I saw a 30% return. I've been doing this again for 25 years, and I always track where my business comes from. And it used to be mailers, and it's not anymore. So in the first year, I didn't know it, but I was building the base. In my second year, I was getting a 40% of my business through online calls and really starting to feel my stride and my growth. And then last year, 60% of my business came online. As a matter of fact, I received so much, I had to refer out 1/4 of my business. Next slide, please. So branding. I think it was Chris that says, you know, you just got to brand yourself. Everything I do is branded. I brand my website and everything that touches my business. Google is a monster. It's got a ferocious appetite. So the more you feed it, the more that monster supports the business and your family. So I use social media, digital marketing, blogs, keywords. Keywords are crucial on the back of your website. Videos, vlogs, podcasts. Again, the search engine optimization is critical. What I really, next slide, please. So kind of, you know, you have to think about how do you play in social media? I work with LinkedIn because it gives me credibility. It's really great for business. And it keeps me out there in front of people. I get referrals from that. I do Facebook to keep in touch with past clients because I'm always out there. But Twitter is where my book gets promoted, and I also get to work with influencers in the industry, and that's really taking off for me, as is Instagram. So you've got to be, when you're doing social media, you've got to be willing to put yourself out there. You've got to be willing to balance the business with your personal content. People want to know about you personally, but I have a problem because my family, they don't like social media. They don't want to be on social media. So I have to figure out different content. So if I'm cooking a brunch, I'll start posting what I'm cooking about. Also, you need to post consistently. If you need to, hire a professional, because the algorithms behind the scenes are always changing and it's very hard. I mean, we're out there doing transactions, we're doing deals, but this social media can be full-time. So take the time to hire somebody. And videos are crucial in our industry, whether it's on your website. They work great for digital marketing. They work great for LinkedIn, Twitter. Everybody loves short videos. Next slide, please. So I already talked a little bit about what do you post in your content. So if we could go to the next slide, that would be great. The power of the video. This is so crucial. If you can get comfortable with Facebook Live and LinkedIn Live, they're fantastic because that pops your post up to the top of the feed and you're seen almost instantly. You got to be patient with your audience. Ideally, you want people to share what you've posted so you can get a broader range, a broader network. You're casting a net every time you post something. Next slide, please. So as I said, videos are really important to me. Again, I have an acting background, so I'm very comfortable with it, but these few little tips will help you do a great job with it. Number one, pre-script what you're going to say. Keep it under 60 seconds. 30 seconds is usually optimal. You can even break those down to 15-second intervals. They're great for advertising pieces. They're great for posting. You can post them repeatedly. Rehearse before you actually film. And in this day and age, everything is digital, so who cares? Film it again if you don't like it. Delete it, film it, delete it until you get what you want. And please, ladies especially, do your hair and makeup. I professionally have my hair done before I do videos, and then I do my own makeup. And if you don't feel comfortable doing your own makeup, hire somebody to do that for you. And then when you get in front of your videographer, you're really feeling good about yourself. And lighting is so important. Don't have the light behind you because you become black in the front. Look, well, I can't do it with this computer, sorry. Anyways, you want the light in front of you, and that really makes you look your best. Next slide, please. This is my book. If you have the time or the patience, well, what I realized is by the time I finished with a client, I had a whole big book written for them. So I said, I'm gonna put it down in a logical fashion, and this book is on leasing. It's an 11-step process. And ladies, I'm gonna share with you that this book in residuals, I have made $250. So you are not going to retire by writing your books. I mean, maybe, but I don't think I'm going to. But what this does for me is it gives me clout, it gives me instant credibility. And within 3 months of me promoting my book, I received $15 million of commissionable business. And it also makes great things to blog from. You just take excerpts from your book and blog. Oh, also on Amazon, if you go on Amazon, Google Simplicity, you can download my audio version of the book for free. You can listen to it in the car. You can give it to clients on commercial leasing. It's just a great how-to book, and it's all story-based. Next slide, please. Public relations, well, this is something that you do need to hire, and if you want to get more exposure and more things to blog about or more things to post about, every article that is written about you locally, regionally, or nationally, you can sit out there and post out to the world, and it gives you additional credibility, keeps you in front of your peers and potential new clients. Next slide, please. We're almost done.
Wow.
Digital marketing. This is really a science, and I simply hired a professional to do it for me on LinkedIn. I pay her $1,000 a month. I give her an advertising budget, and she goes out and she does it in advance. we pinpoint who my client base is and what is my targeted audience. And we've gotten a really good response on that. Also, realtyads.com is a great AI program that will post your listings all over all of social media and help you market yourself. Next. A nonprofit partner. You know, if you have a philanthropic group that you love working with, that is another great thing to post with when you're doing an event or any successes that the nonprofit group has had. Next slide, please. Reviews. Reviews are golden. They get me more business than anything. People say, I Googled, well, because of my website and the search engine optimization and the blogs that I do and all the words and all of that science behind the scene that's happening, I come up on the top when people Google tenant representation in Scottsdale, or I'm looking for space in Scottsdale. But what really gets the people to call me is they say, I looked at your reviews and all of your reviews are great. I make sure people review me on Google, Yelp, LinkedIn, Facebook, Amazon. It is really the icing on the cake when you're branding and marketing. Next slide, please. And that's it. Thank you so much, ladies. If you have questions, don't hesitate to throw them on the chat, or I guess when we have open discussions, I'm here for you.
Wow, I am, I'm speechless, Andy. That was awesome. It makes me feel very, very not as powerful as you. But that's good. That's a good thing. That's amazing.
I have a question.
Yeah, Stacy had a question. I was going there next, Stace. Go for it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're next.
I had a question about your keywords. You had mentioned that briefly, and I didn't know if you could go back and just touch upon that. The
Sure.
keywords in your website behind the scenes. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I actually have my my website. My website is a breathing, living entity, and probably every few days or every week, there's more information added to it. All of my blogs go on it. All of my videos go on it. I try to drive business through it. That's why I do the digital marketing on LinkedIn, so that people go in there, they find out about me. That's really what my reference point is. That's how people see I am credible. All of my listings go on there. And so in the back, behind the scene, I have Dwight. He goes in and we actually hire somebody to find out what are those keywords that people search for. And we put those in the back. And every once in a while, you have to change those keywords in the back. And it depends on who your audience is, where does your business come from? It's all based on where your business comes from. Mine comes from North Scottsdale primarily, and I do a lot of tenant representation. So I put those words in the back of the website.
Okay,
And then when I
thank you.
write blogs, we make sure that all of those keywords are tied into the blog. So when they're looking at the blog, it automatically ties back in to the website. And Google has this magic where they kind of just overlaps everything and weaves it around, and then they find you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. I don't see hands raised, so I'm going to ask a question. And if somebody has a question, throw it in the chat box if you would. Chris Anderson, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Chris, being up in Sedona, that's really a hometown local place. How do you keep your content fresh on your social media and on your information that you send out to your clients?
So our content is always pretty much the same on our print, but in terms of social media, we're changing it up with video and what we do. Like we did a series, What Would Chris Do? And the series was doing crazy things and luxury listings just to get a different approach. So example, I was floating in a pool on a duck, an inflatable duck, and we ran that, and that got a lot of laughs, but you know, it shows like the human side as well. So I think you just have to throw in different things. I'll throw in a dog picture, I'll throw in a trail, we'll do we'll do a lot of business to business video where I'll interview a great chef, or, I'll interview Sedona.org, which is our property management company that does short-term rentals. There's so many things you can do for content. I'm trying to promote other people in Sedona, and I think that's a great way to do it if you're looking to really dominate an area.
And where are you posting your social media? Where are you posting your blogs and your videos? Is it on LinkedIn, like Andy was saying, or Facebook?
I really have not been doing LinkedIn. I'm doing Facebook and Instagram. I just, it comes down to time in the day, and I did hire a director of marketing to help with that. It's a lot of work, actually.
So you hire somebody too?
I did, because it gets too much.
Right. Okay.
That overwhelm that we just experienced with Dana, that's what I was feeling.
Mm-hmm. So Lisa Roberts, you have a certain demographic that you've gone after over the years. How are you getting your information out to your clients?
Same as well. I mean, you got to stick to a couple different things for me. And that's kind of how I started my business, is you'd hear all these different things from different people, post here, post there, and you don't want to put a little bit in every basket, because then you don't come out strong. So just from out of the gate back in 2011, I started getting reviews on Zillow from clients, even when they were renting, rather than going on Zillow and Realtor.com and Yelp and Google and every other place and have 5 reviews in every place. I now have over 100 reviews just on Zillow. And for me, I think people look at, the masses, and if you just have a little bit everywhere, you don't seem as strong as an agent. And that's, I've gotten some of my following, obviously, for my reviews on Zillow. And, just being present. And at first it started from that advertising on Craigslist, and just one thing leads to another, and just answering your phone and being present. People watch you and follow you, and it's not rocket science. It's just, being there.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. I answered my phone the other day, and the agent on the other side said, "Oh my God, you answered your phone."
Right.
I was like, well, isn't that my job? Isn't that what I'm supposed to do?
Right.
But how often do people do that? So Lisa Westcott, what are you doing in your niche market to get your information out?
So I'm technologically challenged in so many different ways that I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not good at. So I don't try to be good at what I'm not good at. I hired somebody to do all of my our social media, our marketing. He does everything, and he knows the algorithms and whatever that even means. He knows how to put it out. We use LinkedIn, Facebook, Google reviews is huge. Even though I know Zillow is an important piece of it, I can't stand Zillow. So I probably put my heels in and say, no, don't need to do that, even though we do. But for me, it's always been about reaching out to my clients and staying connected on a personal level. Some clients want to be your friend. Some clients want to hear from you all the time. Some want to hear from you every 6 months, or they want to hear from you. They'll reach out and say, hey, so how's the market? What's going on in Silverleaf, or what's going on in Paradise Valley, or what's going, and that's I have branded myself with my clients as a resource, not just real estate. It's, hey, Lisa, I have a friend coming into town. She has terrible hair. Who would you recommend? Or, hey, Lisa, my kids, need a new dentist. Who would you recommend? They always come to me first. And if I can't answer it, then they'll go somewhere else. But I'm always very, very connected.
That's awesome. Be the source, right? That's what we all try to be for our clients, isn't it? Exactly. Who's the vet? Who's the dog groomer? That's questions I get from my clients, because I'm an animal person. Okay, one last question. And I'm going to start with Lisa Roberts. Lisa Roberts, how do you get your clients, or how do you ask your clients to fill that review out, whether it's on Yelp or Google or wherever?
Right when where I'm thanking them for putting their trust and confidence in me for helping get the transaction done. When I'm calling them to let them know we recorded, I let them know how much it would mean to me if they would go ahead and, post, their thoughts of how the process went online, and they would be more than happy to. I mean, it's the least that they could do when they know, when I was representing them, I wanted to get them the best possible deal or get them the most amount of money when I was representing them as a seller. So certainly when I'm one step ahead of them every time and I don't ask for anything, that's really the only thing that I ask for. And sometimes people are voluntarily asking me, where can I go to put in a review for you? So it's just saying it at the right time, which is really when we're recording, and I'm thanking them for putting their trust in me.
Wonderful. Chris, how do you go about asking your clients?
Similar to Lisa, when you close, I just ask them, would you mind if I sent you an email on how to fill out a Zillow review on me? And they're going to say yes. And so we'll do that right away. So it's an email, and I'm happy. I'll get that email and I'm going to put it in the chat so everybody has it.
Wonderful. Lisa Westcott.
Oh.
If I said that correct, yeah.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
So kind of like both Lisa and Chris, as we're talking about it and we're getting to know each other, I mentioned that, if they're happy at the end, we love reviews, and that's where things are going is online and social media and people. That's how people find you. So it helps us grow. If we do a good job, would they mind helping us? I will honestly tell you, I'm not the best at that because I tend to forget it and it's not top of mind, which it should be. So I'd say maybe once a quarter or every 3 times a year, we might send out an email blast that says, we hate asking for this. However, it's very, very important to us and our growth. If you would take the time, and we provide a little link for it, and that works quite a bit, but I'm not as good as I should be at it.
And it's a good thing you're on here today, because I think we just heard from the last person, Dina, that we need to work on that with your greatness games, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely. All right, Andy, we know you're pretty plugged into social media, and obviously you have no problem asking for a review, but when do you do it?
Well, typically what I ask it at the end of the transaction, so that we've gotten through everything that we needed to get through and they really have a good picture of it. And I'll make the ask in person, and then I'll also type it in email. And what I do is I give a suggestion to them. Would you mind writing a review, a one-line review, something like blah, blah, blah. So that way I can make it easy. They can cut and paste. They can modify it to meet what their experience was. And I'm kind of the leader and in control of what the review says and where it goes. And the other thing I do is because, after 6 months to a year, I get to know my clients well and I get to know their business. So I also offer up, if you give me a review, I'm happy to give you a review. So it's kind of a 1-for-1, and we both have a win-win situation.
Awesome. This has been an amazing panel. I would like to thank everybody who's participated. I think we all got some good ideas. I was writing stuff down, but thank you. Thank you, ladies, for participating, and thank you, everybody on Zoom. And I'm going to turn this back to, I don't know if it's Rebecca or Laura I'm turning this back to. Thanks, everybody.
It gets to be me for now. Thank you, Jan. Fantastic job. Great questions. And you guys have earned another 10-minute break, and we're going to come back here and we're going to do some breakout rooms. So I hope you'll join us for those opportunities, because we've got some great people that are going to lead those conversations in the breakout rooms. Taking your business to the next level with Lisa Roberts, working with family from the Sillies, embracing your greatness with Dina Patton, and Chris Anderson is going to stay on to help you guys with building a team. So I hope you'll all come back and jump into one of those panels. So I look forward to seeing you back here in 9 minutes and 15 seconds. Thank you, guys.